Okay, so this is your owl body. Kind of hard to see in the video, it's not the best quality, but you can see it's kind of flat at the base here and then kind of pointed at the top. The head is going to sit here and the feet will go right here. And it's got the blue on the front and the green on the back. Yours may or may not have that, but it's totally up to you. So that is where we'll leave that, and then now we're going to go on to do the head. Okay, so take your roving again, much like you did with the body. I'm going to make a knot and another knot. And we'll do one more knot. If you can, I should have it more in the center. There we go. So now we're going to take our extra little bit, take your number 38 needle, one without the tape, and I'm just going to take the rest of this, wrap our little knot around. So we're basically making the same owl as the purple one, very similar. So you can see, kind of get an idea. So the body, and then you can kind of get an idea of the shape of the head. So it's round and then kind of wider at the top. So we're just going to make a basic ball. Most of the time I'm poking my needle all the way in as I can, but if I'm doing finer detailed work, sometimes I'll just do, or if I'm just like finishing a project, I'll just poke the surface. But for this case, I want to push my needle right into the center, using every bit of the barbs to catch as much fibers with each poke. Okay, you can see we have a ball, so we're just going to keep wrapping that and until we have the shape we want. Just keep going in a ball while it's this size. Okay, I'm just continuing to wrap it. Not too worried about my shape just yet. Now sometimes you don't want to go too firm. You can poke this until it's really hard. But if you go too firm, it becomes a little more difficult to shape it. Although if you do end up going really firm on something you're making and you're having a difficult time getting any definition in it, you can just add bits of wool for your definition. Maybe that's a little complicated to understand unless you've done it, but if this is rock hard, I can't make contours with the needle as easy as I can if it's a bit soft. But if it is really hard, and I want to take little blobs of wool, just show you for example, and add it, that's how I would make a little bit more detail on something that was felted really hard. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So now we need to just keep making our shape of our head. As I get further and further away from that center core, I wrap it thicker. I'll just make it go a bit faster. Kind of have a similar shape right now than we did with the belly. It's kind of a log shape at this moment actually. But we want something that's like wider at the top and then kind of comes down. This kind of typical owl-shaped head. So I'm just going to get this nice and firmly on there. Okay, so now I'm going to start looking at it as though this is going to be the face, and this is going to be the round back of the head. So now I want to see, okay, well, where are we going to add some wool to create that shape of head that we want? So I'm going to add some to the sides and come around underneath by the chin. Right now, don't worry about how everything looks if there's bumps in it and it's all rough. Right now, you're just focusing on making a basic shape. Okay, so you can kind of see I've made it a bit wider on the side. So I'm going to do that on the other side. Now I'm going to leave this little tail on the bottom because when we go to attach the head, it'll make it much easier to combine it with the body. So leave yourself a nice little tuft at the bottom. If you don't have any to do that with, just take a separate piece, and just start from, take a piece like this and just start from the side and needle felt it all the way down here until you have a little tail poking down. Now I'm just kind of working to smooth it out a bit. Any little fluffy bits that are sticking out aren't firm yet. Don't worry about making it too hard. There we go. Okay, so you can kind of see we have a bit of a owl-shaped head. It's like wider on the top and then tapers down. It might be a little hard to see at this point, but we're going to take a little bit more wool. Now this is going to be visible on the outside, so you want to look at your wool and make sure there's no major pieces of veggie matter. I'm just going to pick that out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to focus on the back of the head because the back of the head isn't going to have the eyes and stuff, so we want it to look nice and smooth on the back. So we're just going to lay a piece over. And I'm attaching it with my number 38 needle. Just roughly attaching it. Okay, now that it's sort of attached, you're focusing on the back, not the front of the head. So this extra little bit I'm just going to pull off. Okay, now we're going to take our number 40 needle, the one with the piece of tape on it, and we're going to go around, pick out any veggie matter that's there, and now you're going to smooth it out. I'm going sideways because I want to catch all the little fibers at the surface, but I also don't really want to poke too hard because I don't want to change the shape of the head. And this is also why you're using the finer needle, because it will felt the surface but not change the shape too much, whereas the coarser number 38 needle will change the shape of your core if you poke too hard. So right now we're just wanting to make a fairly smooth surface. Kind of do like we did with the belly, fuzz it up a little bit. We'll undo a bit of the felting that you did, but that's okay because then when you go along, it'll make it even stronger. Okay, so that's the back of the head. Now we're going to turn it over. Any bits that have come around from the front, I just switched to my 38 needle just to get it in there. It's much faster. You can use your 40 needle to do this, but it's just faster to do it with your coarser one. Okay, and that's okay that your face front looks kind of rough because we're going to add eyes and a beak. Okay, So that's the shape of the head. In the next video we're going to add the details to the face.